This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports. You're listening to TGI Sports Talk with your host Keith Angle on Northeast Streaming Sports.
Good morning, everybody. Keith Angle for TGI Sports Talks. Are you serious? Right here on Northeast Streaming Sports. We're live this morning on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. We'll be seen at 12 o'clock today on Roku. I'll be joined soon by my co-host, the Mad New Yorker, Carlos Chavez. We're going to talk today about the NFL and the wild week that it's been with the quarterback carousel and Aaron Rodgers re-signing with the Packers. What a hypocrite, by the way. And we'll get into that. And that might be the topic of my vlog today. I'm not sure. But we'll talk about some other teams. They're going to have to, after this carousel of Russell Wilson getting moved and Carson Wentz and Aaron Rodgers staying, where do we stand with some of the other teams and some of the other free agents and the guys that are going to be drafted? So we'll talk about that. We may have some time. I don't know. That's going to take a lot of time, probably. Obviously, we got a decision, I should say a agreement in Major League Baseball for a new collective bargaining agreement. What does all that mean? We will have a full season. There's some things that I like. There's some things that I don't like. And I don't know that we'll get into that today. We'll get into it certainly Sunday on our Stream of Consciousness show. And also, we got the NCAA tournaments, NCAA conference tournaments in full fling. Some big upsets yesterday. Oklahoma over Baylor in the Big 12. Also in the Big 12, TCU, maybe not as big an upset as you might think, over Texas. And also some other action that we'll try to get a chance to look at. But today I think is going to be taken up by mostly the NFL. And we'll talk about that here in just a second. Good morning, Dave Guyette. Best baseball is back. And we probably won't get into too much of that today, but I can guarantee you Sunday will be chock full of baseball conversation. We're waiting on the Mad New Yorker to arrive this morning. Hopefully everything's okay in the big city of New York. Hope you caught our college sports huddle Wednesday night, and we covered all the NCAA stuff. And we're going to dive into it more again this weekend. I don't know how much we'll get into it today, as I mentioned, but we'll talk about it definitely in depth on Sunday. And I'm still trying to coordinate a possible selection show on Sunday night. So we'll see how that goes. But with no further ado, because we do want to dive into this NFL stuff, let me bring in my co-host today, the Mad New Yorker himself, Carlos. Good morning, Carlos.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing?
I am fine. What a wild week, though, right? I mean, just when you think, and we'll get into this in depth. I think you and I are going to have a little bit of a disagreement on one of these topics for sure, as far as the quarterbacks go. But you got big news with Aaron Rodgers re-signing.
Right.
What a hypocrite. I'll throw you a little sneak peek of my thoughts there.
You got to pay the MVP. You got to pay the player, man.
We'll get into it. Russell Wilson, obviously, with a big trade from the Seahawks to Denver.
A great deal, man.
Carson Wentz, I think the Colts did a great job getting what they got for Carson Wentz from the Redskins. I don't think they're done. And then we got Khalil Mack going to the Chargers, which is going to change the dynamic of that division.
Yeah, that's nice.
And we'll talk about – I also want to talk about some of the other ramifications around the league of teams looking for quarterbacks and quarterbacks looking for jobs. So we'll dive into all of that. So I guess let's start where we probably will have the most disagreement. Aaron Rodgers signs a brand new contract for $153 million. I believe it's worth – what is it worth? 50? Am I wrong?
50, about 50 plus, depending on if he gets the incentives, right?
50 plus with incentives.
Right.
Now you say you got to pay the best quarterback. Okay.
Yeah, pay him, man. He might not be a leader, but he's winning games.
Forget about the leadership question. Even I'm not forgetting it.
You got
But
to.
here's a guy who wanted to be traded because the team wouldn't put enough weapons around him. Now he's put the team in a position where they're probably not going to be able to surround him with the weapons he wants.
Green Bay they don't need that many weapons anyway to win that division, right? So that's what the ownership's looking at it in that retrospect. Like we can pay him, we can have a decent squad, and we'll make the playoffs. We'll make some money back. Are they going to win a championship? Who knows?
Well,
right?
Isn't that what it's all about, though? Why are you bringing Aaron Rodgers back if it's not to win a championship? What's the point?
Because you can't lose money, right? Green Bay doesn't have anybody to replace him, right? They don't have another Brett Favre in the waiting. They know that. That's why Love hasn't played any games.
Get it? I get that.
That's why they rushed Aaron Rodgers to come back after their surgery, right? Or that pinky toe incident, right? You don't have anybody that is a mega star, a mega super quarterback without leadership skills in Aaron Rodgers. So, you need him on your roster. Even if he doesn't play, you still need him on your roster.
So from the Packers standpoint, I kind of understand your argument.
Right.
Where I go off the rails here is
you can't stand his little shit.
That too. But all last summer, all I heard when he wanted to get traded, he wasn't reporting because I want a team that will put the weapons around me that I need to win. And I kept arguing, well, you get your money, Aaron, every year. You've never renegotiated down once to help the team, with cap issues and bringing better talent, like the Tom Brady's have done, and other quarterbacks have done through the years to make their teams better. Now, they get their money eventually. I'm not, saying they're altruistic and not getting anything. But here's another case. Here's another case of this guy. I would say he doubled his paycheck. How's the team going to manage to get better with wrapping that type of money up?
Listen, the reason he's getting money is because if he doesn't play, they don't win. That's the truth of the matter, right? And you have to win to even get to a championship. First of all, before even thinking about anything else, you need a quarterback in this league, and that's what the Green Bay Packers are paying for. Are they paying for people to be around him to help him win? No. At this point, they don't care. They just need to make sure those seats are filled in Green Bay, and they know that they can win in that division with him being on the roster because he's proven that, right? So, are they going to the Super Bowl? Are they going to the Super Bowl every year? Probably not, but that doesn't matter at this point because, hey, you got the best NFL player on paper on your roster, and look, you could be upset about it all day. The NBA, MLB, they all work the same. You got to have that superstar on your team to fill the seats.
Yeah.
Are you going to win a championship? It's all relative because at the end of the day, you need more than one person to win that championship.
Exactly.
So you're selling jerseys and you're selling tickets.
That's why you don't pay him $50 million a year and have to let Devontae Adams walk.
My man, it's business. Like, that's Green Bay's problem, not Aaron Rodgers. And if you expect Aaron Rodgers to walk in the locker room and beat Tom Brady, then you paying the wrong person.
Yeah, because you don't want to win.
He's no Tom Brady. And
you
again,
don't want to win 6 Super Bowls. Apparently,
here we go. Like we talk about it all the time. There's nobody that will walk in a locker room and going to win you Super Bowls like Tom Brady, which is why he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of our generation, right?
It's not just Tom Brady. I mean, again, this is a guy. And Brandon, by the way, welcome, Brandon, to the show this morning. Brandon's got a great point. 37-year-old quarterback who's been to as many Super Bowls as Rex Grossman in that time. And AR cares about AR, and that's it. You win the division, lose the NFL title game. Now he's the highest paid player in the league. I agree totally. He cares about himself and not winning, and that's my point with you all the time.
That could be your point all day till you die. But at the end of the day, Green Bay is the one giving him money. He's not stealing it from them. Green Bay's allowing him to take that money.
So he didn't twist their arm even a little bit.
Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, the records speak for itself. Green Bay cannot win without that quarterback. The other guy who got drafted high, supposed to push him out of his position, isn't even up to par. So, if you're a Green Bay Packer fan, be happy you got somebody to maybe win you some games, but you ain't going to win a Super Bowl because you don't have enough money to pay for the other players.
I got to know if Brandon's and again, he has had help. I agree. I've had this argument as well with Aaron Rodgers. He says he never gets help. He's got 2 of the best skill position players in the game today playing for him now. Plus, he's had Donald Driver over the year, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams, solid running backs, decent defense. Well, see, they've had some bad defense.
A lot of those guys weren't great until after the playoffs, until people figured it out. They weren't great coming into the season. They got better or they became better One, with Aaron Rodgers being your quarterback, and two, having a great defense, not putting your offense in that position that they were forced to play even harder, right? Because when they had Matthews on the team, that defense was great, right? They kept the offense, the other offense for scoring, and they kept the offense, gave them enough time to get a break and a breather, right? So, and that's the point. You got to balance out your team to be a championship team. And hey,
I thought it was important. I didn't think it was important to get some clarification on whether Brandon was a Green Bay fan, because again, you have a different opinion, I suppose, if you're not a Green Bay fan, but I do know Green Bay fans, and it's including a loyal follower to our show, Ken Gifford, who doesn't like the guy either.
Hey, listen,
the person who I work for, very high up in my company, is a big Green Bay fan, and he hates Aaron Rodgers just because he is not a winner, and he doesn't do the little things to help teams win. He wants to make Brandon.
That's on Green Bay.
Aaron Rodgers.
Nobody tells Green Bay who they have to sign except for Green Bay's management telling them, "Hey, this is what we're going to do." If they don't like that management and they don't like those players, don't sign them. At the end of the day, and listen. Who's going to replace Aaron Rodgers at Green Bay to help them win the Super Bowl? Who?
Oh, they have to make a move. Obviously, it's not Jordan Love.
And
I don't disagree there.
That move is going to cost them more than paying him because they don't have to go anywhere. He's right there in their backyard. And listen, love him or hate him, man. At the end of the day, Green Bay's the one making the mess of all this, not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, all he has is an agent telling him what he wants.
I will say this: he's a good publicity person because he gets his name in the news, and people. And again, he's a polarizing figure, which is great about sports. You either love the guy or you hate him. Right.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who's his own family doesn't like him. So,
well, that should tell you something, Carlos.
But that has nothing to do with football. On the field, he's going to make some of the best plays. And
hold on. It may have something to do with who Aaron Rodgers is as a person.
Yeah, that doesn't have to look, man. You can go down the list of all these guys who are great football players, and they're not good people. You can go Lawrence Taylor. You can go, Lawrence Phillips. Hey, you play the game on the field. You are who you are off the field. If you don't like these people, don't put them on your team. Don't pay them.
I'm not paying a guy to lead my team for $50 million.
Man. You got to make it work. Isn't this what the MLB's working? The same issues, right?
Most important position on the field. Yes, he's going to make the most money on the team, and he should. But again, his arguments about coming back to Green Bay were because he felt wrongly, as Brandon said, and I say, they don't give him enough weapons to win. And how are they going to do it when they got this much money tied up?
It don't matter what. Look, at the end of the day, you're in Green Bay, Wisconsin, one of the coldest places to play during the playoff times. Anyway, the people you're on your team do bad in that weather. Not even just the opposing team. So
they seem to do pretty good.
Look, you're in the blackest hole of the in NFL. You're going to be great during the regular season because you beat up a poor conference that's laid out right now. Nobody's very competitive at all. And look, you're doing this to yourself. If you're Green Bay and you Packer fans, look, you might not like him, you might not love him, but he's your quarterback. So you got and your team stuck with him. They just signed him. So now you got to support him.
You can't tell me, maybe I misheard you, but you can't tell me that the conditions in Green Bay keep them from winning Super Bowls. The Super Bowl trophy is named for the coach who won the first 2 Super Bowls.
And that was back then. This is today, man.
Championships.
That was back in the day. We're in a new generation of football.
The weather hasn't changed, Carlos. I mean, they win or lose, it hasn't changed.
Listen, again, Aaron Rodgers did not put this out there. Green Bay signed Aaron Rodgers. They didn't have to sign him. If they thought there was a replacement out there, somewhere out there to replace him, they would have got him already, and they didn't.
You're really not answering my question about why is Aaron Rodgers taking $50 million from the Packers if what he really wants to do is have talent around him to win?
Because they're giving it to him, man. You don't have to give him any money. You didn't say that,
He wants to win. He didn't talk about money. That isn't why he didn't report to camp last year, because he was getting paid, and it wasn't about money. He said, which is why I'm telling you he's a hypocrite. And last year he sat out because they wouldn't give him the tools he needed to win, which was ridiculous to begin with.
Listen, I've told you since day one, once that coach came in who hasn't any experience in winning any kind of Super Bowls, I said they're going to have problems in Green Bay. That's a black hole right now. And all Aaron Rodgers is doing is proving my point. He doesn't like management. He doesn't like the coach, but they're willing to give him money to stay on the team. And that's not his problem.
Well,
that's Green Bay's problem. If Green Bay had a problem with Aaron Rodgers and they wanted to get rid of him, they had the opportunity not to sign him and even give him more money.
I won't argue that point. My point is the Aaron Rodgers side of this.
What does it matter? He goes on the field and this guy produces. He might not have gotten a championship, but he's gotten 4 MVPs. How many QBs were available that had 4 MVPs?
That's all great for Aaron Rodgers. All great.
It's Aaron Rodgers. At the end of the day,
City of Green Bay, the fans in Green Bay, let's just talk about them for a second. They don't care how many MVPs Aaron Rodgers wins.
They own the team. This is the only team in the NFL that is owned by the actual fans, and they didn't kick him out of off the team. Dude, it's not just hypocrite of Aaron Rodgers, it's hypocrite of the Green Bay Packers and their fans. Listen, I love you guys. You guys do great for the NFL, bringing in, beating up on all these other teams in the NFC North. Great for you. And if you're not in the Super Bowl, I can't cry for you. You guys keep Aaron Rodgers on your team. If you don't like him, if you don't need him, let him go. But you
understand there's not a vote amongst the fans whether to keep Aaron Rodgers or not.
That's the problem that they got to fix in Green Bay, right? If your player, if you're fan owned, and that's your card that you carry, then you gotta and you can't get rid of Aaron Rodgers. That's not on Aaron Rodgers. That's on the team. That's on the Green Bay Packers.
Right. They have a board of directors. They have people that hire people to make the decisions, just like every other NFL team. The only thing that's different is the fans.
This is a team that can get everybody in the neighborhood / county and
Alan's going to back you up.
Get a snowstorm and empty out that stadium in less than 3 hours just to watch a football game. You telling me you guys can't gang up together and not sign a guy you don't want on your team that you don't like? Apparently, not everybody feels the same way because the man is still on your team and you're paying him more.
That's fine. I get it. He's getting his money. I'm happy for him. But again, you won't be seeing him win any Super Bowls.
They didn't sign him to win Super Bowls. They signed him to win games.
Well, then again, that is stupid. If I have management that signs to put people in the stands and not win games in Super Bowls, then I want a new management team. I just
listen. Well, you're a Patriots fan, but we got the Jets and the Giants here to do it every season right now for the last 10 seasons.
Well, listen,
they're not winning no Super Bowls. They're nowhere near a great team.
The first 30 years I was a Patriot fan, by the way, they weren't winning either. So
yeah, but evolution has to happen. That change has to happen. Management, they have to change.
To improve the team to get better and win Super Bowls, though. Now, not put money in Aaron Rodgers' pocket and fill the stands.
Listen,
they filled the stands when Wally Whitehurst was a quarterback there, for crying out loud.
Look. At the end of the day, they have a quarterback, and that's as much as any other team in the NFL wants right now. Let me get a quarterback that can win games. Is he a leader? Who cares? Win me some games. And Aaron Rodgers is that man. That's it.
Well, good point. No, you know what? We're gonna eternally disagree on this topic, so it really doesn't matter. But it gives us good.
And listen, let's talk about another man who everybody keeps dumping on and now is on the new team. Let's talk about some Carson Wentz. Well, everybody loved him when he first came into the league. Oh, he's got an arm. Oh, he was underrated in college because of the school he went to. But now he's no longer in Indianapolis and he's at Washington.
Well, that brings up a good point. So, is this a good trade for the Redskins? Oh, excuse me. There's another $1 in the
Commanders, man.
I can't help myself. I'm going to be politically incorrect for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I'm the least woke person in this country.
And this is the worst part about this trade as a Giants fan is the Redskins to this day are still better than the Giants.
Yeah, and you know what? I think they're building right. I don't think they're done. I think the Redskins are going to, boy, there I go again. I think the Commanders are going to draft a quarterback myself, and Carson Wentz is probably going to be a placeholder for a year or two.
And look, it doesn't matter. Carson Wentz went on a team that maybe is better than Indianapolis. Maybe. They have a good defense. They have decent players on offense. Can he get out of his head? Because I think right now he's just in a mental block, man. I mean, he's not performing coming off of his injury, coming off what happened in Philadelphia. Then he's being dumped on in Indianapolis. Like, hey, he got Indianapolis to the playoffs with the team that Indianapolis had. So and Indianapolis has a great defense, but their offense wasn't that great. They had a decent O-line.
So Indianapolis gets a second and a third round in this year's draft, correct? And a conditional third rounder for next year. For Carson Wentz, that's a pretty good deal for the Colts and not for the Redskins.
But listen, what if Washington gets? What if the Commanders they get into the playoffs and they have Carson Wentz? Even if they don't get to the Super Bowl, they're so much closer.
I've always been a Carson Wentz fan, but he doesn't. I don't think again he's a guy that is going to take that next step. He's kind of on the Derek Carr side of things in my mind.
Hey, listen, man, just look, do your job, win games. If you're not the leader, you're not the leader. At the end of the day, though, we bringing you here to make sure we're in the position of getting into the Super Bowl. That's it. What you're asking of quarterbacks because you're a big Patriots fan and Tom Brady was your quarterback. It's not going to happen, Keith. It's not going to happen, man.
Listen,
it's happened only for two teams, the Patriots and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There are no Tom Brady's out there.
You misunderstand my motivation. It's not just about Tom Brady. Again, there's certain types of qualities of guys who can lead teams and guys who can't. And I keep telling you, this position is so important for.
All right, so listen, name the top 5 quarterbacks and who's the best leader of them all.
Well, unfortunately, the number one guy just retired. Yeah. So are we talking about combination or the best 5 quarterbacks?
Just the best 5. Let's say the name 5 great quarterbacks right now.
Right now, it's Rodgers, it's Mahomes, it's probably Wilson. Who else we got? Who else is the top guys now? My mind's totally.
You got to give it to what's his name?
Joe Burrow?
Stafford.
Joe Burrow. All right, I'll put Stafford in there. I mean,
and Joe Burrow.
I don't think he's a top 5 guy. I think Burrow's right there, moving into that.
So right, he'll be in the top 5 in the next few years.
So the best leader of all those guys in my mind is Russell Wilson.
And you got 5 guys there. You got maybe two out of 5. Okay, so again, you don't need to be a leader as a quarterback. You just got to do your job, and you got to be consistent. That's it. How many great leaders, Super Bowl winning quarterbacks were there in the history of football? And you go down the list, and not that many.
Almost every one.
Okay, Neil O'Donnell. Pittsburgh.
He didn't win a Super Bowl.
He got them there.
He got there. He didn't win.
All right. Who else? Who else? I mean, what's this guy's name? Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer was not a good NFL quarterback, but he was a good leader for that specific team.
All right.
He didn't make mistakes, and he did everything that was asked of him. That's
he did his job. He did his job.
Well, he led a mediocre offense as a mediocre quarterback. That was their defense that won that Super Bowl. We all know that.
All right.
But they had a 2,000-yard rushing running back, too, so that offense had to put points on the board. You don't win with 0 points. So guys like Trent Dilfer have a leadership quality without the talent.
Listen, at the end of the day, he was in the NFL. He was a quarterback. He did his job. Whether he wasn't the best person at his job, he did what he was supposed to do in this game and be consistent.
Allen's right. I probably should have. I would have Josh Allen in there before Stafford. So I kind of agree with Allen. So
Allen's not even a leader. He takes the ball for himself. That's different.
You just asked for the best 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah, but I'm asking you: is he a leader? Do you believe he's a leader? Do you believe Josh Allen is a leader?
No, I'm not saying he can't be, though. I think Josh Allen has the qualities to become a leader and take his team to the Super Bowl. He hasn't matured that much yet. That's all.
He hasn't been to the Super Bowl either, so it doesn't matter.
Well, Rodgers is 37 years old. I don't think he's maturing more from here.
It doesn't have, but everybody knows. That's the thing. This is what kind of bothers me about your ideals. It's like everybody knows he's not a leader, so they still paying him to be a quarterback, and that frustrates you. Like the team chose him.
I think it's ages.
To give another contract and paying him $50 million plus incentives. And that irks you because he's not a leader.
No, the money, I don't care about the money. I really don't care. I care about him being consistent. I care about him holding out last year because he said the team wouldn't make themselves better around him. But it was all about money all along.
It's always about money, man. Come on.
I don't disagree with that. But don't be upfront and don't be so hypocritical like he's being.
What does it matter? Do your job, man. Just do your job.
I still think this is an ageism argument on your point because I'm old school and I think you got a problem with that.
No, I don't have a problem with it. I don't care, man. That's your problem.
I care about winning Super Bowls. That's
Yeah,
what I care about my team doing.
That's only one team out of 32 teams every year. So, man, look,
I want my team to put the best players in place. I don't care what they pay them or what they don't pay them. I care about winning.
You're in the bright side of things, man. Your team's doing okay.
Well, okay. You're right there. Let's move on to Russell Wilson, though, because lost in all of this argument is probably, I think, a much more a move that's going to have a lot more impact on next year's season.
Dangerous
is Russell Wilson going to Denver, and this is he'd overstayed his time in Seattle. It's a defensive-minded team. Pete Carroll's not changing his approach. They were never going to give him the weapons that he needed to win. They had some weapons when they won the Super Bowl. But they were never going to improve that team around him. And so this is a great move for Russell Wilson. It makes it AFC West. And we're going to get Brandon. I know you asked a question or made a comment about Khalil. Khalil. What's Khalil's name?
Mac,
thank you. We'll get to that too, because it is changing the dynamic in that division. But Russell Wilson comes to a Denver team that really needs a good, solid leader to get them over the top. And he's the guy I think that will do it. And
listen,
they gave up a lot to get him.
They were somebody was going to get Russell Wilson, and somebody wants to win. That's at the end of the day, you put your money where your mouth is, man. Listen, Russell Wilson is going to make Denver 10 times better because that quarterback there didn't have a chance. And Luck, what's his name? Luck? No,
Lock.
My bad. Yeah, Lock.
Drew Lock. Yeah.
Drew Lock. He was so inconsistent, and yeah, he's a young guy, but he needed something more, in management, right? He needed better coaching, I think, because he had very few games that he was great in, right? So, but he didn't provide an opportunity for them to win, right? So.
Where would we rank the Wilson trade all time? You know what? I don't know that we can make that call.
Not yet.
I think until he shows what he can do and wins a championship in Denver, I can't rate the trade entirely. As far as big trades, I mean, it's one of the biggest trades in NFL history for sure.
What I'm going to say is, and a lot of people are not really talking too much about it, is that the big winner here is Denver because they're selling the team, right? The team's being sold, and they got assets and putting Russell Wilson on your team just made your team so much more valuable, right? Because now they're going to sell more tickets. They're going to sell more jerseys. And not only did you add Russell Wilson, but you already have a good team. And Denver did great by this because they had 11 draft picks and they didn't know where they were going to go with all 11 of those. Yeah. So, it was better for them to get something more valuable out of it. And Russell Wilson was the best piece to put on that team to make that team, over $1 billion team now, right? Because they couldn't sell the team at a lower price of all the stuff that they've been going through. You got
this comment by Brandon I can't agree with. I mean, to me, Wilson only had Metcalf, and that's about his only above average weapon that he had on offense this year. Now, in past years, there was some talent on that team. You don't win Super Bowls again with no talent surrounding your quarterback. But
listen, I mean, I don't know
in Denver right now.
I don't know if Brandon is a Denver fan or not.
He's a Bears fan. We got that earlier.
Was that what he said? Yeah, Bears fan. I mean, if you're in Denver, you're a happy camper, man. You're out there already buying your stuff ready to tailgate and getting ready for the games because you got a gamer, man. Russell Wilson is a gamer, and he might not have played it the last two seasons because he was always being chased and always on that field when his defense didn't come through. But he's gonna win you 4 or 5 games on his own.
Yeah,
you put all that talent. He got a running game now. He's got great wide receivers, a decent O-line that maybe can strain that O-line just a little bit.
Yeah,
you're gonna see a different Denver team. Here's the problem though, and we're probably not going to see him at his best because what happens now is that he's in the AFC West. He's in the AFC division that's totally just bombarded with talent in the quarterback position. And there's going to be a lot of close games that Denver should win, but probably won't.
Yeah, we'll jump into that in a second. Let me back to coaching. Could it be that Locke was not? Could it be that Locke was not a good quarterback? Back to coaching. Oh, back.
Well,
to
listen, I mean,
Locke isn't a good quarterback. I mean, I think that's apparent.
Right. I mean, he might not even be a good backup, but at the end of the day, they put him out on the field. They gave him an opportunity, and they went on and moved on to a quarterback with more talent and more experience.
What about? I mean, again, so we're talking about the AFC West now is absolutely loaded. Kansas City is going to be Kansas City. They're not going to fall off the face of the earth. Denver's much better. San Diego much better, picking up
Mac.
They
just solidified the defense.
And I know that Brandon's happy getting the draft picks that he got back and the compensation they got back. So that's, good. I think both teams probably win in this trade because San Diego needed that. I think that presence on defense to really make the next move.
Yeah,
this
they can't.
The best division of football on paper.
Yeah, they couldn't win that division with just QB with just their cornerbacks running and safeties running in circles. I mean, they're gonna fill the hole with Mac being there, and they got somebody to rush the quarterback. So that's a good deal for the Chargers. For the Bears, this means that coach is willing to, start over with a new type of defense and get younger. So hopefully he makes the right choices. He's not a bad coach. He evaluates talent very well. So it's gonna be a challenge, but it's gonna be fun to see younger guys on that Bears defense.
Yeah, and to Brandon's point, he put this comment up a little while ago, so I want to go back to it. I do think, it's funny. They're right. They're getting draft compensation for an aging underperformer. They're not ready to win right now. So this is a good trade for Chicago going forward, as well as the Chargers. So
yeah, see, what I don't, and I hope I don't see from Chicago is them getting even more offense, right? Because you can always pick that up in free agency. If you're going to draft, you got to solidify your offensive line. You got to solidify your D line and get some younger guys in the linebacker position that you're losing, right? So.
Oh, great to have you, Brandon. If you're still here, I know you're leaving, but we'll love to come on the Man Hour and debate this topic. You want to get Carlos if you want an opposite opinion of what yours is, that's for sure. But we'll certainly look into that. Reach out. We'll do it. Good morning to Sal this morning, too. Chicago got a second and a sixth. And again, I think at this point of Mac's career, that's not a bad haul for him. So, yeah, good question. I was going to move on to some of the other stuff that's going to happen. Who's going to get Bobby Wagner because they're going to release him? That's going to be another.
And he's not that old. He's only 31 years old, and and he's played in almost every game that he's been in.
It's going to be interesting to see if he wants to stay out west or. I don't know. I can see maybe a team like Arizona picking up Bobby Wagner.
If Arizona picks him up, that'll help him a lot because again they have that Asian player and what's his name? Oh my goodness, I don't even know if he's coming back. It just fell out of my mind, but
I think Brandon's talking about the Bears having $120 million in cap money next year. So watch out. Well, you know what? Well, that's when you want to spend it because this year you're not ready to win.
Right.
Next year you might be though.
And you're going to find out with the new coach, with the quarterback, you're going to see where you're at and what you can, either fix that problem or, blow it up.
Philly's a good
for Wagner.
Talk about Bobby Wagner. Philly would be a spot that I can see him landing too. Sal, that'd be a good. That's a good thought. It's going to be interesting. A lot of things are going to be. There's still teams. Let's go back to the quarterbacks real quick.
Yeah, I could see even Wagner going to Tampa Bay, maybe.
Yeah. It's funny. Allen, who's a Cowboy fan, comes up with more guys for me going to New England. He's got every wide receiver in the league going to New England.
Yeah, I don't think Bobby Wagner would go to New England.
I'm not so sure Bobby Wagner's going to come for what New England would probably be willing
to
pay.
He's going to want more money, first of all. And
Dallas, you know what? Dallas is a potential landing place for him, though. Dan Quinn being the defensive coordinator there, that's a good thought right there, Alan. I like that one a lot.
Dallas might be a better move for Wagner than New England because. And so, you got to look at the teams that are willing to pay him,
Let's look at some of the other teams that may have potential quarterback needs, right?
Indianapolis
has definitely they don't have a quarterback right now. I hear a lot of rumors about Matt Ryan going to Indianapolis, which I think would be a brilliant move for Indianapolis.
Oof. They're going to take that contract on?
There's a lot of talk about Atlanta drafting Malik Willis in the first round, trading Ryan. And I think I personally, I think that would be a good pickup for the Colts at this point and where they are as a team. So I still got some gas in the tank, and this is a team that's ready to win right now if they can get the right guy.
I mean, I think any QB with a good head can win it. I mean, I was hearing Garoppolo maybe as well in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I hear Garoppolo there. I hear Garoppolo. I hear Carr possibly going to the Colts, and then Garoppolo going to the Raiders. So it's there's a lot of stuff going on here. What about? I mean, I had the Dolphins originally on my teams needing a quarterback, but it's obvious they're sold on Tua, or they wouldn't have got rid of the coach.
It's not just they're sold on Tua, but he's on contract, and they don't want to pay out more than they need to right now, right?
Yeah, Steelers are going to come into play here. They need a quarterback, obviously, and I don't know whether if they think they're going to get Pickett or somebody in the draft. I'm not so sure. It's going to be very interesting to see where these two guys go. I saw a mock draft yesterday that showed Willis going, I think, at 5 to the Falcons, and right behind him, Corral going to the Seahawks at 6, which might be a reach for Corral, but I think now he's in play more than ever before because he's a very talented guy and he plays the NFL game already. Right. You got to be able to move around, and he can do it. And maybe staying healthy might be an issue for him. But I could see the Seahawks going either Corral or Willis myself.
Right. That's why I heard that a lot of these coaches are liking Willis in Seattle. So, that's an opportunity right there. Listen.
I here's the thing. Remember, he's a rookie quarterback, and not every rookie quarterback is a Joe Burrow. Not every rookie quarterback plays that way, and it takes some guys some time to learn to play the game. And I think you're going to see a big step forward this year out of Fields. No way do I think they're ready to win, Rick, but I think this was a good move for them. Getting rid again. This is a New England. Again, I got to use my reference point, right? This is the type of thing good teams do as they're getting better. You get rid of guys a year too soon rather than a year too late and get some capital for them. And that's what the Bears did here. I think it's a good move.
Right. And listen, that defense in Chicago, by no means, kept them in almost every game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they won games because of that defense. But
the team is much more competitive than we thought.
That contract handcuffs you as a team. You know what I'm saying? And that's where that move came in. And Eberflus he's a great coach and he's a good talent seeker.
Yeah.
So, and he's defensive minded. So I don't think that defense is gonna fall. Like I think it's gonna get better. And I think adding more pieces that are younger is gonna help. It's a speed game, right? So
yeah. Oh, for sure. Speed is everything now. That's why when you see the combine, that's all you hear about is, guys 40 times. That's all you hear about.
I want to answer Alan's question. Let me tell you something, Alan.
Go ahead.
I don't want to see Trubisky. I don't want to see Daniel Jones. And I'd rather have Brissett on my team, Jacoby Brissett on my team, than any of those two yahoos right now.
Is Brissett a free agent?
Yeah. And he's going to cost you less than $5 million. So if you're the Giants freaking leadership out there and you're listening, or people, get Brissett. He's got more experience. He's still young, and he's going to win you games. And you don't have to mess with trying to figure out who Daniel Jones is, and you don't have to mess with Trubisky being, whether he wants to be the man or not. I don't want to deal. We don't need to deal with any more of that stuff. And we don't. And the Giants don't have that much money to spend. And Brissett will be probably the best deal that you can find out there.
That's an interesting thought. I hadn't heard that before. I think Trubisky's going to end up getting signed.
I don't like this whole connection thing, man.
Yeah.
I know you use your connections to favor you, but in management, it's totally different than your connection on the field and being on the team. Like these guys that leave teams to be with coaches, or they know somebody that sometimes so sometimes works, but most of the time it doesn't, because that favoritism shows up in the locker room and people start getting mad at each other,
But it's not so much favoritism. I mean, Dable saw Trubisky every day in practice. And
oh my goodness. Then why didn't he start? So if he was so freaking good, why didn't he start?
Because he's got Josh Allen. That's why he's not
going to start. Yeah, but Josh Allen wasn't.
I like Mitchell.
Look, there was games where he shouldn't have been playing because he had a minor injury, and he still was starting. It's like, come on, man.
Well, you're still going to play your best quarterback with
again. There you go. You just said the words. He had to play the best guy, and the best guy was Trubisky, man. He's an okay quarterback, but there's a reason why they got rid of him, man.
I think Trubisky's, somebody can turn him around, he's still got some potential. I think Nagy screwed him up badly in Chicago.
Nagy's a QB quarterback, man.
And he screwed up this quarterback, I can tell you right now. So we'll see.
I don't know, man.
I'll tell you what.
See, again, like, listen, everybody's got a different perspective, right? Nagy didn't like him.
You'll find out, I think.
Dable thinks he's okay. Okay, but is he a starting quarterback? Here's my thing. If Trubisky was so good as a starter, why is he not starting? Why wasn't he starting yesterday or last year? You know what I'm saying?
Because he's got Josh Allen in front of him.
No, listen, look. I don't want to hear. Look, if you're a starter, you're a starter. If you're not, you're not. Right? The whole thing we can't look. I said the same thing about.
Why didn't Jimmy Garoppolo play in New England?
Yeah, but Jimmy Garoppolo came to play because of an injury, man. It wasn't the fact that he was, trying to take over Tom Brady's spot.
Well, Trubisky was signed there to be the backup, not to compete for the starting quarterback job and to rehab his career. I think you're going to find out, to put an end to this, if Brian Daboll and
you like Trubisky so much.
If they don't chase Mitchell Trubisky in free agency, then you're right.
Garbage. I don't want him. We already got garbage on our team. We don't need it to stink.
I understand. I'm trying to make a different point. I'm trying to make a different point, though.
Keith, if you like Trubisky so much, put him on the Patriots. Leave him out of New York.
I would love to see Trubisky back up next.
Please sign him today.
Well, he's going to make too much money. That's not going to happen. Some team is going to take a chance on Mitchell Trubisky.
Because they're taking a chance. You don't want to take a chance. You want to make a move.
But again, my point is, if Daboll doesn't make a move and the GM don't make a move on Trubisky, then it's going to be a giant signal.
I don't understand how Trubisky is a better pick than Brissett.
You don't let me finish that last part. You don't let me finish that last part. I've tried to say this 3 times.
All right, I'm sorry.
Don't go after him. It's a giant signal to the rest of the NFL that this guy is not as good as I think he might be. I think it's a giant signal. Listen, I don't mean that as a pun either.
Do you think Jacoby Brissett is worse than Mitchell Trubisky?
I like Jacoby Brissett. I really do, but he's a game manager. He's not going to be a guy who takes over games, which is fine. I mean, you don't necessarily need that if you're the Giants, maybe, or another team. Depends on the talent around him. But I think
what the talent is around him.
Here, let me answer it this way: as far as potential to become a better quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky has more talent than Brissett.
Yeah, but here's the thing: this is a Giants. They don't need any more talent to sift through on their roster. They need experience. Jacoby Brissett has playoff experience. He's been in the league already. He's going to do his job, whether he's great at it or not. I'd rather see us win 3 games with Brissett than maybe win 2 games with Trubisky and let the rest of the team try to win the rest of the games, man.
Well, Alan's next comment may set you off. He sees them drafting Ritter, who I know you're not in love with. I like Ritter, but Ritter's not going to be a star in this league. I think he's going to be around the league for a long time as a backup, and he may become a starter that can game manage, but I don't think he's going to be a superstar in this league. And I don't see him going, well, you know what? Maybe the Giants would. I don't think the Giants take a Ritter because they're not going to start a Ritter in year 1. If they're going to bring a guy in, it's going to be a guy that can compete to win the job and not a guy who's a rookie.
All I can say being in New York is that
Rick is liking your feistiness today, by the way, Carlos.
Here in New York, we just got 2 trash teams right now. And I say it to try to be in a respectful way, even though that doesn't sound respectful at all.
How does that sound respectful at all? What do you?
Because you could always take the trash out. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
That part I won't argue with.
You know, look,
I do think the 2 teams that are not that far away, if they make the right move.
Stop. As a fan, I don't want to see this merry-go-round of rosters going on anymore, man. I just want to see some consistency, man. And you brought in these coaches and some of these players to say we're not going to do this, and you're doing the things that you say you're not going to do. So if you bring in Trubisky, all you're doing is bringing in a has been, maybe not. Like, no, get somebody who's already been there, who already done it, and just move forward, right? You don't know if you're going to get rid of your running back in New York. You don't know if you're going to pick up another wide receiver because you already got a wide receiver under contract, just like the Jets did with Corey Davis. Like, come on, man. Like, It's ridiculous. Some of these contracts are so huge. And you want to talk about Aaron Rodgers' contract. Yo, how about these contracts that the Giants are giving out to these players who aren't even performing? At least Aaron Rodgers was performing and earned his contract.
With all the teams that have quarterback issues, including the Giants.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not sure there's enough quarterbacks to go around in free agency and trade possibilities and draft possibilities to fill them all. I mean, you got the Texans. Maybe they found a guy. Maybe he played some decent games last year, but I'm not sure that he's the answer long term. Washington's going to need to draft a quarterback. Vikings are up in the air with Cousins. They don't know what they're going to do. Falcons, if they move Matty Ryan, need a quarterback. The Panthers need a quarterback. Seattle needs a quarterback. New Orleans needs a quarterback. Tampa Bay needs a quarterback. And the Lions need a quarterback.
And the Saints.
Plus the teams we mentioned before, the Colts and the Steelers.
And the Saints, they're
Saints.
also.
Did I leave them out? The Saints too, yeah.
Yeah.
Which brings us to this. And I've said for the longest time, Deshaun Watson never plays in the NFL again. Is he going to get a job this year? Because I hear Seattle is ready to make an offer there. Again, they've got some draft capital to trade for him, but are you going to trade all that capital you just got in the Wilson trade to get Deshaun Watson, who you don't even know if he can get on the field? Yeah,
he's got this court cases pending, whether he gets a misdemeanor or even a higher charge. If he gets a misdemeanor, he'll be all right because he pays his fees, does his
misdemeanor for allegedly assaulting 22 women.
Well, the misdemeanors for out of the 22,
don't change the air in footballs in the NFL, but go mistreat women and murder people, and you can play.
No, I keep saying it's as much as it is on him. It's on the Texans for giving this information out, and they should be the ones also. They should have consequences also. So, that's another story for another day, man. Let's move on.
Well, let's just say, is he going to play in the NFL next year or not?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't think so. Again. But if he does, it's going to be maybe 5 games because he's got to be suspended, right?
I would think once he gets, I would think so.
So maybe I would over under 5 games. What do you think?
I think 0. So under.
I think
0 for the rest of his career. So I got the under forever. Let's throw a couple names out. Where are they going to end up? Jimmy G, where's he going to be?
LA. I mean, Vegas.
Okay, so you got Derek Carr moving?
I think he moves.
To?
He might go to Texas where his brother was.
Bad situation, man, for him there.
Any situation for Derek Carr, as long as he get paid, he'll feel good about because
Colts take a look at Derek Carr.
Ooh, that would be a decent move, right?
I still like Matt Ryan better, but
Matt Ryan, the thing is that he's already playing indoors, right? Derek Carr doesn't play indoors, so you give him a little bit more of an advantage, right?
Is that stadium indoors in Vegas?
No, I'm talking about before they moved there, though.
Oh, okay. All right. Mitchell Trubisky, where's he going to go? He's going to get a job.
Oh,
I think Carolina.
It doesn't matter where he goes, man. How about that?
I think Carolina. How about Kirk Cousins? Does he stay in Minnesota, or do the Vikings move him? And we'll see if work.
I don't think anybody wants to take that contract, man.
I don't either. I think the Vikings are stuck with him.
How about this? What if the Vikings and Matty Ice? What do they make a move for Matty Ice?
Interesting. I mean, again, the Vikings have weapons, and they're I think, again, a good leader at quarterback away from being a potential Super Bowl contender. So
those are the only 2 teams that can actually talk to each other for QBs because they both have that.
No, well, they're not taking Cousins. Isn't going back to Atlanta. They're not taking him on. They're not taking that contract.
They could just switch players for the same contract.
I just don't. That'd be foolish on Atlanta's part to unload the contract of Ryan to get Cousins. No, I could see Minnesota taking a hit and cutting him though. I can see it.
It's possible. Allen's
got him going to Miami for Tua again. Miami's not taking on the contract, and Tua's not going anywhere. If he was, Brian Flores would still be the head coach. I think it's simple as that. How about some other? I had another. Marcus Mariota. He's an interesting free agent. Is he going to get?
Yo, I would even like him on the Giants. Yo, come on. But the contracts, he wants more than $10 million.
Yeah, that's the problem with some of these guys, right?
And he's worth it, man. He
would be a good fit for the Giants. I would agree that he'd be a good fit for the Giants to bring in and compete with Daniel Jones.
Oh my goodness, he won't compete with Daniel. He'll take his job, man. Listen,
I'm not saying he won't win, but I think you have to have an open. You got to for them to know what they got in both guys. They're going whoever it is they bring in and Daniel Jones. They need to have a competition. They can't just anoint somebody.
Oh, geez. Look, I mean, even who should get Mariota? The Jets. They got a team that's similar to,
play.
They got a young team. They got a young offense. Mariota's got wheels, man. He can run. He can take a hit.
Again, they've got their quarterback until they show that he's not the quarterback.
He's not a quarterback, man. He's just a young kid wearing a jersey, man.
Thank God you're not trying to be too harsh today.
I just, you know what? I mean, baseball's back, and I'm kind of happy, but can we get a championship football team in New York again? Like, man. I'm also kind of upset that the Knicks are terrible, but whatever.
Alan, Colt McCoy is not, Colt McCoy is a nice backup in this league, and that's where he's going to be.
How old is Colt McCoy? I feel like him and I went to college together.
I would say he's in his early 30s, probably.
30s? No. He's got to be at least 35.
Colt McCoy? Nah. Maybe.
Because he came out of school like late, right? He took that extra year as a senior.
I think he did. And he played for Mac Jones, who's been gone a while. 1986 he was born. That's 36 years old.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
He's not. Right, he looks like he's 15, but no, man. I want to drink what he's drinking.
He's gonna be a backup quarterback in this league for he can play for. He's a good guy to have around in an emergency. He played some good games.
McCoy would be on the Commanders.
He was there.
He's already there. You know what? I feel like Colt McCoy is like Fitzpatrick. No matter where you put him, he's going to give you 2 games.
Yeah, get a contract and then.
Where's Fitzpatrick going?
Yeah, it's funny. Nobody's mentioned this. I mean, he's under contract for the next couple of years too, because he manages to always fall into a nice big contract before he gets hurt or stinks.
It's magic.
They got to move him. They're probably going to cut him because nobody's going to take the contract, so they're going to have to eat that contract.
I don't think he's a 2-year contract. I think it was an option. I think he's a free agent.
Is he? I had a list of free agents here, and I can't find it right now.
I think he's a free agent.
But
he's only played like on 30 teams. He only got like 2 more to go.
I think he's got to be close to the record. Damn it! I had the list, and now I lost.
And I believe he's going to be 40 after the season starts.
Fitz?
Yep, Fitz magic.
Okay. What else? Well, we're stuck on the NFL. We ain't got time to go probably anywhere else. What else you see happen? We got free agency coming up, which we'll be talking about.
The draft. The draft has opened a lot of guys' eyes, right? The talent isn't what they expected, right? It's somewhere else, right? These D backs and safeties and CBs they're gonna go flying off the charts, right?
Rick already had the 35 while I was looking. I should have looked at the comments. I mean, who's the key guys who's the teams that are going to be the most active in free agency? You think? I would think the Giants are myself.
Yeah, the Giants and the Jets because they got multiple picks. It was Chicago, but they gave up their picks.
You're talking about the draft now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about free agency.
Oh, free agency. Chicago's a huge player because they got draft picks to give away, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, again, the Jets got draft picks. The Eagles have draft picks. The Jets have who else got draft picks? Chicago's now got draft picks. Seattle's got draft picks. So
they're starting to balance out these teams on the NFL draft now, right?
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see. The NFL, I got to say again, I say this a lot. They do a great job of stretching their season out and making it a 12-month a year. They keep themselves in the news 12 months a year because we just came out of the Super Bowl only a couple of weeks ago, right? And we're in the middle of this trade frenzy. Then we got free agency starting. Mm-hmm. Then we go right into the draft. Then we go.
You skip the college games, the Senior Bowl.
Yeah,
you skipped that.
I did. Yeah, Well, that's really an NFL product, I guess. So yeah, there's lots of. I mean, they do a tremendous job of promotion, and baseball tries to do it. And I think we'll jump into the baseball. We're going to have to cover this baseball, and it's going to take like a show to do it. I think next week, as much as I want to do the NCAA's, we'll wrap up real quick. I think next week we're going to focus maybe on some Major League Baseball and them coming back and some of the ramifications.
There's going to be a ton of trades going on, so
there'll be a lot of movement in the next, probably today.
No, they got like a 2 days period that they said they were going to have.
It opened up yesterday, I think last night, didn't it? So
they said they have a freeze period to get everybody organized.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Because the owners are coming through and they gotta see how much money because of the new contracts, CBAs and stuff like that. So,
well, it's going to be a very interesting
the new
week
tax
in Major League
brackets.
Again, just to touch on it real quickly, and I don't want to dive into too much because we'll do it. I'm happy they're back. I'm happy they come agreement on the billions of dollars that are available and raise the minimum salary, fix the compensation on draft picks, change the rules about how many times you can be put up and down. But why are we putting rules in to eliminate the shift? And
you have to, man.
Why?
Because the players have changed. The game changes, so you have to change with the time. You might not like it, but it has to happen. Correctly.
Why diametrically change the way the game?
You're just saying you don't have an extra outfielder. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, we'll have to get Drew in here.
That's all you're doing. Look, you don't want the guy in the outfield. Let the outfielder run. Let him do his job.
The way the game is baseball has been played for 140 years, Carlos, is
with an extra outfielder.
There's 9 guys out there, and you hit the ball where they aren't. Right. It doesn't matter where they're playing.
No, because the problem is that pitching and hitting has changed as well with the time. So you got pitches coming.
It's changed because the approach to the game has changed.
No, it's a little bit
shifts and over shifts.
The problem is it's a little bit of everything, and it's a culmination of just making one change that can open up scoring, and that's what it's about.
Why do we need to open up scoring more?
Because you have hitters who can hit who don't look like they're hitting
because they hit into the teeth of shifts instead of hitting where guys aren't.
It's hard. Look, man, it's hard to hit a ball going 70 miles an hour. I can't imagine trying to hit one going 100, 105 and not knowing where it's going to dip, where it's going to fall. Let's say you're trying to hit the gaps, but you don't get there because the ball, the ball is the one swerving around.
For Joey Gallo to sit and complain and said the reason he can't hit higher is because of shifts and they're bad for baseball is baloney. Joey Gallo should learn how to play the game the way
the problem is that all these guys are making a valid point. That's the problem.
They aren't making a valid point.
He's not a good hitter because he hits into the shift.
Yeah.
Is a problem that not just Joey Gallo has.
You're right. That's an epidemic in the game of baseball. It's not.
And if you teach, as much as you teach kids about hitting, you still have to be out there hitting them, trying to hit that ball that's coming at you, right? There's a reason why they give these pitchers the balls that have been in the humidifier and they got rid of the spider tack and all that. There's a reason for all that, Keith. I mean, The game's changed. Players are different, man.
Because every single rule change in Major League Baseball since 1968 has been to the benefit of the hitters and to the detriment of pitchers. Every single one. Every one. And it continues because they think, and maybe I'm wrong because I'm old and I need people to get off my lawn. They think people want to see 10-9 baseball games, and I don't. That's not the way the game is supposed to be played.
Okay, fine. That's not the way. But look, it changes because people change, things change, man. Look.
Do you enjoy watching games that are full of walks and strikeouts and home runs, and that's all there is?
I just want to see baseball, and I don't want to be at the park for 4 or 5 hours.
Well,
like I don't care about the score. I just don't want to be at the park past 4. Look, Keith, these leagues in the United States with the sports, they have changed through time, and they changed to benefit everybody, including the players playing it.
Wait a minute, it's not benefiting me.
But you watch, whether you watch it or not, that's up to you, man. You don't have the choice.
I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing. That's why I'm angry.
Yeah, I mean, but look, the NFL, these players aren't wearing leather helmets anymore. You know what I'm saying? They're not wearing these huge pads that they wore in the 70s anymore. So you got to change with the times, man. You got to change.
Wearing the huge what?
those huge pads, man, those huge Riddle pads that Wilson pads that they used to wear.
Oh,
like,
back to football. Sorry, I thought we were still on baseball. I was like, what pads are the baseball players wearing?
No, I mean,
right.
like even baseball players, look at the masks that they wear and the equipment that they use. I mean, everybody's got an elbow guard, a hand guard.
Yeah, I got no problem with things like that for increasing player safety, but changing the way the game's played is different.
They want to make the bases bigger too, man.
They're going to, which changes the game tremendously.
Listen, man.
No longer 90 feet between bases if you do that.
Hey, look, you got to change with the times because that's what's holding back the game at the end of the day.
Baseball was a perfect game, and
there's nothing perfect. Just ask the people who are Hall of Fame voters. They don't let nobody in.
What's Riddle? I think he meant Rydell.
Oh, right. Is it Rydell?
Rydell.
Yo, I grew up in the South.
They're out of business. They're out of business. It doesn't matter. Well, listen, we had a lot to cover today. We're going a little over, so we got to wrap it up here. Yeah, Carlos, thanks for coming in. We got so much to cover now. Now we're getting into too much. We got too much to cover, but I love it. I love the debate, the spirited debate. I love all the comments. Thank you for all of you, thanks Alan and Rick, and I can't get to everybody, so I apologize. Sal, where's he? Brandon, we'll get on the man hour. That'd be awesome. So we'll see you guys on Sunday. Carlos, thank you.
Have a good one, guys.
TGI Sports Talk. We're out. Bye.